Yes, good morning to all of you. This is the outline for today's lecture. This is the seventh lecture. We'll be discussing about the pig use cases. We have already learned about what pig is and how to install it. And I hope that all of you maybe have installed pig, because once you've installed all the relevant software, then it would be very easy for us to learn the concepts of big data analytics. So I would once again suggest to all of you to install Hadoop and pig so that you can work with all the commands. In today's lecture, we'll be beginning with pig use cases, then the mapreduce fundamentals. As you know that uh, pig is an abstraction over mapreduce. That means whatever we write in pig, once it is executed, it is converted into mapreduce jobs. And mapreduce, as we learned in our previous discussions, is the analytics language for Hadoop. Language which provides you, support for analyzing your code. Okay. Then in MapReduce, we'll be discussing the word count program. There is a word count program which is also known as the hello world of MapReduce, the basic program, but which would, tell you a lot about the MapReduce functionality. Then we'll be discussing the execution modes of pig. We'll be discussing the grunt shell and some basic utility commands. We'll be also covering data types and operators in pig. We'll be analyzing the data stored in HDFS using pig. And we'll be discussing the basic pig operators for data analysis, that is load, dump, and store. All right. So let's begin with today's lecture. So we have already covered this, I suppose, that pig, it provides an engine for executing data flows in parallel on Hadoop. Remember, in Hadoop, the processing is done in parallel, and each node is, running the code, analyzing the code independently, and later on the results are combined. For this, pig uses a pig Latin language for expressing these data flows. Pig Latin includes a large number of operators, and which are similar to your SQL operators, but with the better functionality and better ability to, users to develop their own functions also for reading, processing, and writing data. And pig, as you know, is an Apache open source project, which means that you are free to download it and use it. It runs on Hadoop, and it takes the help of both the HDFS and the Hadoop's processing system, MapReduce. Then HDFS, as you know, is a distributed file system that stores files across all the nodes in a Hadoop cluster. And obviously the basics of HDFS, you know that files are broken down into large blocks and they are distributed across different machines, and there are multiple copies. Replication is there, so that if one machine fails, then no data is lost. By default, you see pig reads input files from HDFS. Okay, it uses HDFS for reading files and then stores the results back to HDFS. But we can also use the local file system for the files. That means with pig, we can read files from local file system as well as from distributed file system. So let's discuss about the MapReduce functionality now. If you have any questions, you can ask, you can raise a hand, but just give me 15-20 minutes in the beginning so that I can just lay out a platform for you for pig understanding. All right. So first thing is that MapReduce is a parallel data processing paradigm. It's a parallel data processing model. Okay. And every job in MapReduce consists of three main phases: the map phase, the shuffle phase, and the reduce phase. So remember, every MapReduce application consists of three main phases: the map phase, shuffle phase, and the reduce phase. In the map phase, the application has the opportunity to operate on each record in the input separately. Okay. And in in actuality many maps are started at once, so that even if you have a very huge file, maybe gigabytes, terabytes, and you have a large number of machines, your map phase can finish well below under 1 minute. Okay, so we are talking of huge files. So the map phase, all the the application can operate on each record in your input. Whatever input is there which needs to be processed, the map phase can access each record in the input separately. So for that we need to start multiple maps. Okay, and they can finish the map phase in under 1 minute. Now, how does it do it? There would be a key on which the data would be collected. In all MapReduce jobs, they are based on the key concept. For example, if you are processing web server logs for a website, web server logs means it keeps a track of what users have visited and what they have done on a particular website. So if you are processing those logs, if you are seeking information analysis from such logs, you would choose the user ID to be your key, so that you could see everything that a user has done on the website. And after the map phase, there is a shuffle phase, okay, in which data is collected together on the basis of the key the user has chosen, and then it is distributed to different machines for the reduce phase. So I repeat, there is a map phase, and after that there is a shuffle phase in which the input, the data is collected on the basis of the key and is sent to the next phase, that is the reduce phase. Okay, every record for a given key will go to the same reducer. Okay, and in the reduce phase, the application is presented each key together with all the records containing that key. And after this processing has been done, the reducer can write its output. Okay, that is how we talk of the MapReduce phases in theory. Okay, so let's now discuss a program which would make it more clear for you, to understand this map, shuffle, and the reduce phase. So consider a simple MapReduce application that counts the number of times each word appears in a given text. Okay, so this is the word count problem of MapReduce. And just like you have a hello world, beginning program in Java for understanding, this is known as the MapReduce hello world. Okay, and the application is that we need to count the number of times a word appears in a given text. Text may be in gigabytes, in terabytes, but it will, out of that given text file, it will count, it will pick up each word and tell you how many times that word has occurred. Okay, so in the what happens with this word count application is that in the map phase, it will read each line in the text one at a time. Okay, so in a map phase, your application, your program would read each line in the text one at a time. So if suppose there are 100 lines in your text, there would be 100 mappers. You can understand it like this. Okay, and then it will split out each word into a separate string, and for each word it will output the word and a 1 to indicate that it has seen the word one time. Okay, then in the shuffle phase, it will use the word as the key, hashing the records to reducers, and reducers will then sum up the number of times each word was seen and write that together with the word as the output. Okay, so this is how your map, shuffle, and reduce works for this particular word count application. Let's now consider, now an actual example for this. Let's suppose we have a file which contains the nursery rhyme, Mary had a little lamb. So all of you in your childhood, you must have read this, this nursery rhyme. So let's suppose that this is our input file. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. And you can see that there are 4 lines in this file. Okay, so you can assume that each line is sent to a different map task. Each line is sent to a different map task. So in reality, you see each map is assigned much more data than this. For our example, we are considering that one map has a line of text. For example, map 1 will have Mary had a little lamb. Map 2 will have its fleece was white as snow, like this. So my question is, if this is our input file, then how many maps are required? How many maps are required? You can raise your hands to answer, please. If this is our input file, then how many maps are required? Raise your hands to answer this question, please. Okay, Ritika Sharma. Yes, Ritika. Ritika, please answer.
So 4 maps.
4 maps. Okay, fine. So we'll have 4 maps for this task, right? So see now, this is the actual now this picture, this graphic would tell you all about your map, reduce and shuffle phases. Just look at it clearly. Then we will see a program for this also. The program which you would design after maybe 1 or 2 more lectures, once you understand the Pig Latin concepts, then you would be creating this program on your own. So Mary had a little lamb. This goes to the first map. Its fleece was white as snow to the next map, and everywhere that Mary went to the next third map, the lamb was sure to go to the fourth map. See what it does. It splits. It says Mary occurs once, had occurs once, occurs once, and so on. Okay. Now, what has the shuffle phase done? Can you see? Can somebody tell me what the shuffle phase is doing here? I, I'm taking two reducers. Okay, I'm taking two reducers. So reducer would mean that which would further count, summarize the information. So I have taken that all the words which begin with A to L will go to reducer 1, and all the words which begin with M to Z will go to reducer 2. So the shuffle phase does this. Can you see? The shuffle phase is going to do this. So all the words which begin with A to L, they go to reducer 1 for summary. And all the words which begin from M to Z go to reducer 2. And this will then give you the output that which word occurs how many times. This is the actual program in Pig. Surprised that there are only 5 lines of code. Can you see the lines? I've made them in bold. These are the 5 lines which will do this task. If I ask you to do the same task in Java, first of all, you would need a lot of, working with that. And I don't know whether you can take it up as a challenge to write this program in Java. Since you are learning Java, and you can write a program which accepts a text file as input. You read from a text file and you count that in the text file which word occurs how many times. But in Pig, it is just 5 lines. Okay, is that clear? We'll run this program and we'll also understand how this program is made. Maybe in 1 or 2 lectures time. Okay, so this is the program of word count in Pig. Okay, now let's carry on with our Pig Latin discussion. We'll see this word count once I move to the cluster. This Pig Latin is a parallel data flow language. Okay, is a parallel data flow language because your job is given to different machines and it runs them in parallel and then combines the results. Okay, so people can pick up data from 1 or more inputs and the outputs can be stored in parallel and then combined together. These data flows could be the simple linear flows like the word count example that we just discussed, or we can have complex workflows also. Mathematically, if we try to see how Pig Latin works, we would see that Pig Latin describes something known as a DAG, directed acyclic graph. Okay, you've learned this in your data structures also. You'll be learning it in your DA also. So directed acyclic graph in which the edges are the data flows and the nodes are the operators that process the data. That is the architecture of Pig. In my next lecture, I'll discuss this architecture also because it is a theoretical concept. You won't be able to see that thing. So in today's lecture, I'll be focusing on all the things that you can work with data analysis. Okay. So a lot of commands would be there, but just try to understand that the Pig Latin language that you use, the script, it is converted first into something known as a directed acyclic graph where the edges are data flows and the nodes are operators that process the data. So your Pig Latin is different from the programming languages that you might have seen or you might have worked with. Okay, there are no if statements or for loops in Pig Latin. So we are not going to learn anything like if, while, for in Pig Latin. No. Okay, because this is a data flow language. It's not a data control flow language. In other languages, there is a control of flow. Here, data flows from one channel to another. Okay, there is a flow of data. The output from one case is given as the input to the next phase. Okay, so remember, no if statements, no for loops in Pig Latin, a different type of programming language that you're going to learn. Now, Pig use cases, you see Apache Pig is widely used in big data processing technology, and more than 60% of Hadoop jobs are Pig jobs at Yahoo. So Yahoo is using more than 60% of the jobs that Hadoop jobs are there. Out of that, 60% or more are Pig jobs. Twitter is extensively using Pig for log analysis, sentiment analysis, and mining of tweet data. PayPal is using Pig to analyze transaction data and fraud detection. Analysis of web logs is also done by many companies using Pig. So the technology that you're going to learn is used extensively right now in the industry. So all the more, challenge for you to learn it properly. Let's now come to a very interesting thing, the philosophy on which the Pig is based. Okay, so you see, Pig has 4 founding principles that define its philosophy. Okay, and these principles or this philosophy, it helps users to get a helicopter view of the technology. By helicopter view, we mean a very broad view of the technology. The philosophy, they are the 4 founding principles of the philosophy of Pig is in front of you. I would ask you to discuss it. One student can discuss one thing with me. So if you are ready, you can raise your hands. What does this philosophy correlate to data analytics that we are going to learn? Yes, I'm waiting for you to raise your hands. Raise your hand so that you can explain, this philosophy of Pig in relation to the data analytics task that we are going to do. I'm waiting for you. Raise your hands, please. Yes, sure.
So according to this Pig, these 4 statements defines this Pig analysis, that pigs live anywhere means like the pig live anywhere. Our Pig software can live in Hadoop system and anywhere in the system, any place. And Pig eat anything. It means it's a file procedure language, is a file distributed system. It can eat as much as number of files as we provide number of nodes to it. Pig are domestic animals, so it is basically procedural language. So it is basically used by any, as we have seen in the Pig cases, it is used extensively in very wide range and analysis program. So it is domestically used for everywhere. Pigs fly means it has very, as a controlled data flow language, so it has a very high speed of results, as it is more efficient than our HDFS.
Okay, Shaurya, one thing. Can you hear me, Shaurya?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shaurya, you said pigs eat anything. So you are correlating it to that it can analyze a large number of files, something like this?
So yes, and absorb number of files, number of big files in it.
Okay, thank you. Your answers are somewhat correct, not exactly correct, but you've tried it, that's good. Okay, let's see somebody else now. You can raise your hands to answer. Okay, Ritika, go ahead.
So pigs eat anything. That means we can give any kind of file. It can be weblogs or tweets that are there. So any kind of file can be given to pigs for analysis.
Okay.
And pigs live anywhere, that means we can store it either on the local file system or on the cluster even.
Okay.
Maybe. And domestic animals, I have no idea about. And pigs fly means that they runs at a very fast pace and even process the larger files of gigabytes and terabyte size by splitting them into number of maps in just 1 minute or so.
Okay, fine, fine, fine. Your answer is also correct, not exact, but quite close. Okay, one more person can try, because the names are self-descriptive. The philosophy is, by name it is self-descriptive. So I'll give you an answer for this. You can note it down. Pigs eat anything means that pig Latin language deals with all kinds of data, whether it is structured data, whether it is semi-structured data, or whether it is unstructured data. It deals with all kinds of data. Pigs live anywhere would mean that pig, you can have the pig analyzing the file which is either in the distributed file system or in the local file system. Pigs are domestic animals. You see, domestic animals are very user friendly, they are friendly with you. So pig is a user friendly language which helps you to carry out your tasks very easily. Pigs fly would mean that the speed of the analysis of the programs in pig is quite good as compared with other programming languages. That is the pig philosophy, right? So I think it's clear to you, the pig philosophy. Then let's move on to the data types in pig. So two categories of data types are there. Two broad categories are there, the simple data types and the complex data types, right? And they are similar to the Java data types because Pig or Hadoop, they are based on Java, right? So let's have a list to a familiar, simple data types that you have: int, long, float, double. These are all in Java also, and with the same size. You can see the big integer, the big decimal, the boolean, the char array for your UTF-8 string, byte array. Byte array is the default data type in pig. That is, if you don't specify any data type with your pig data, it would be assumed of type byte array. And byte array is your blob type of data. blob, blob, binary large object. It's a binary data, byte array by default. And then there is a new datetime feature in pig, which is very interesting. When we use it, you can extract a lot of information from that datetime type, in which there is a date first, then after the t there is a time, and after the plus is the time zone. So we'll discuss this data type in detail, because while we are analyzing data sets, we need to extract a lot of information based on dates. So this is the summary of simple data types. Just have a look at it, similar to your Java types, right? Then the complex data types in pig are of three types: the map, tuple, and the bag. You see, all these data types, whether it is map, tuple, bag, int, float, double, they'll come in front of you while you are analyzing the data. You would need to mention them, you would need to take care of them. So here I'm just referring to them what they are. While we are analyzing information, then we will be discussing them in detail. So complex data types is map, tuple, and bag, where map is a key value pair sort of thing. Okay. A tuple is similar to your RDBMS tuple, that is a row, right? And a bag is a collection of tuples. See, the tuple is represented in parentheses, bag in curly braces or braces, and map in square brackets. How to use them, we'll see in our subsequent lectures while we are doing a large number of operators in pig, right? Then there are other operators also. There are comparison operators. You are familiar with them. There is one new comparison operator for you, which is used for pattern matching. That is the matches operator. We learn how to use it. Then the Boolean operators are there: and, or, and not. And then like in any other language, identifiers, you see, they are the names of the fields, relations, aliases, variables, and so on. So like if you need to name your relations, your functions, your variables, you collectively you call it an identifier. So identifier, like in any other language, also in pig, it begins with an alphabet and can be followed by letters, numbers, and underscores. okay, beginning with an alphabet, and it can only contain letters, numbers, and underscores. For example, the correct identifier name would be the one that is written there, and incorrect is there. You cannot begin an identifier in pig with an underscore or with any other character. It must begin with an alphabet, and it can have letters, alphabets, and underscores only in its name. And like we'll be working with a lot of relations in pig. You know what a relation is, like you learned it in your RDBMS SQL. It's the table that you create. So here also there is a table or a relation, and you work with a lot of relations in pig. So to at any time to describe, you know, what a relation looks like, what are the fields, what are the data types, you can use the describe command to see the schema for the relation. All right, we'll discuss this all this in a greater detail. All of these operators would be used, all the keywords would be used, because a lot of things would be required in analysis, right? So before I begin with the next this grunt shell topic, I'll go for a poll with you, right? So if you are ready, we can have the first poll. I'm going to launch the poll. Remember, the time for the poll would be just 30 to 40 seconds. It's a very easy one question, a very easy question. I'm going to launch the poll now. The poll is in front of you. Easy question, do it fast. Ten seconds to go now. I'll close the poll. You need to be fast. The question is very easy. Yeah, the last 5 seconds now. I'm going to close the poll now. Sharing the results with you. 72% of you have answered it correctly. There are three phases: the map, shuffle, and the reduce. That was the first thing that we learned today. But maybe some of you are not attentive, so you're not answering correctly. I repeat, that would be a problem with your grades. A lot of problem with your grades if you don't answer the poll questions correctly, because they are being recorded, the polls, and it's going to be trouble for you if you are answering them incorrectly consistently, remember, right? Let's go with the next poll now. It's a very simple one. I'll give you just 20 seconds for this, right? The second poll. The poll is in front of you now. Remember, just 20 seconds for this poll. The last 5 seconds now. Closing the poll now. So I'm sharing the results. 51 people have voted and have voted correctly. Thank you. That's a correct one. Pig Latin is a parallel data flow language. That's true. Okay. The next one again is coming in front of you. The third poll. You get 20 seconds for this too. Ten seconds now. Closing the voting now. So I'm sharing the results. 97% of you have answered it correctly. Pig seat anything means they can work with all sorts of data, whether it is structured, unstructured, or semi-structured. Good work. Thank you. So let's continue now. Let's begin with the important part of the lecture now. Like, to work with the pig Latin commands, there is a grunt shell. As most of you, when you install pig, you must have seen that once you launch pig, you see a grunt shell symbol on your screens. Okay, and this grunt shell can be used for submitting pig Latin scripts. That means you can run your pig Latin code in this grunt shell. You can control the various jobs that are there in your analysis. You can access the file systems, whether the local file system or the Hadoop distributed file system. Now, this grunt shell can be started in 4 modes. Okay, the local mode is there, the mapreduce mode is there, the Thais mode is there, and Thais underscore local mode is there. Thais underscore local or Thais, these are the environments which were introduced in PIG 0.14 onwards. And I think all of you and me also, we have installed 0.16. Currently, the latest version of PIG is 0.17. Okay, so these are the 4 modes in which PIG can be invoked. All right, the command to invoke is pig-x. You can see here, pig-x. Then the mode, right? Then pig-x Thais would launch your pig in Thais mode. Pig-x local would launch your pig in local mode, and so on. If you don't mention anything, if you just write pig, then it would launch pig in the default mode, that is the distributed file system or the HDFS mode. Okay, and here in this syntax, -x is a short form of execution type. Okay, we'll see it once we work in the cluster, right? So remember the 4 modes in which pig can be launched: the local mode, the mapreduce mode, Thais and Thais underscore local modes. They'll be running the Thais and Thais underscore local, but since we don't have the environment here for that, we need to install certain extra things so that we can work with this environment. It would be launched, but no different functionality would be seen by you once you launch it in Thais and Thais underscore local. So we'll be focusing for our this thing only the local and the mapreduce modes. Then within the grunt shell, there are 2 types of commands which would help you to work with your bash shell or your distributed file system. So if you use the fs command, okay, that means if you need to work with your distributed file system commands while you are in pig, in grunt shell, then the command should begin with fs, and then the rest of the command would be the same that you have done with the Hadoop HDFS commands. Okay, so instead of Hadoop fs, while you are in grunt shell, you must use only fs command. Your command should begin with fs. Similarly, if you want to work with your bash shell commands, okay, then the command should begin with sh. Okay, I'll show you how it works. For example, if I use this command, as you can see here, fs hyphen mkdir space / data. That means it would create a directory data in the root of your distributed file system. Okay, and if you use this sh ls / command, it would list all the files in the root of your local file system. So if you need to work with your local file system commands while you are in grunt shell, because normally your grunt shell won't support your bash shell commands. Okay, so if you need to work with those commands, if you need to work with the files from your local file system, then use sh. Otherwise, you should use fs for your distributed file system commands. So remember, these fs and sh commands would be of great help to you. Okay. Then there are utility commands in the grunt shell. Okay, and the first one among them is the help command. So if you write help, you will get a lot of help about how to use the Pig Latin environment. Okay, I've just shown you a sample output of the help command. So it is showing you that in grunt you can have this fs command. The syntax is written fs and followed by fs arguments. So details are there at apache.org/common docs. So whatever is there in an open source software, a lot of documentation is available. You just need to go to the Apache site, apache.org, and you'll get all the information about any tool that you are using. All right. So help is for a help about your Pig Latin environment. Then there is a history command. Okay. History command would list all the commands that you've used previously. You can also rerun those commands by using the up arrow or the down arrow key. You can navigate through these commands by using the up arrow or the down arrow key, and you can rerun them. By default, the commands, they have a number associated with them. So if there are, you see, if I list history and you've just run 2 commands in the current session, it would display 1 and 2 as their starting numbers. If you don't want to see the line numbers along with the commands, you can use history-n. Okay, so this is about history command. We'll see it soon on the terminal. Then we have another set of commands, quit, kill, and set commands. Okay, the quit command is used to exit the grunt shell. So you can exit the grunt shell in 2 ways, either by writing quit at the grunt prompt, or you can press Control D also. Two ways in which you can quit the grunt shell, by using the quit command or by pressing Control D. Then there is a kill command. For example, if a lot of jobs are running and you want to, abort a running job, you don't want it to, finish, so you can use the kill command for that. Usually the admins have the, correct usage of this. Even if we write some kill command, it would be meaningless for us. And same as with the set configuration parameters, like set command is there. If you want to set up some configuration, you can use the set command. For example, if I use the command set default underscore parallel 20, that means that for my processing job, I'm going to mention the number of reducers as 20. This is the meaning of this command. So a lot of configuration commands are there. While you are actually working in a cluster, you can set the configuration with the set command. Then there are clear and execute commands. Clear would clear the screen. Okay. Execute, and then next is run. That I'll discuss after I have discussed all the things that we have seen so far in today's lecture, right? So for that I will shift to terminal. Okay. So if you can, all of you can see the terminal, you can just give me a raised hand if you are able to see the terminal. Okay, fine. Lower your hands, please. Thank you very much. I've already started the services here. You can see all the distributed file system services as well as the yarn services are running. The resource manager and the node manager are the yarn services. The name node, secondary name node, and data node are the DFS services. They're all already running. So let's start with pig now. For example, if I write here pig-x local, okay, focus what you see on the screen, all of you, right? It will launch the grunt shell, but just read the commands that you see on the screen. Read here, trying execution type local. Picked local as the execution type. So when you're mentioning that it should launch pig in the local mode, it tries for the local mode and it gets the local mode. So now this grunt shell indicates that your pig is up and running and it can work with the local files only, not with the distributed files. Okay. The clear command that we just discussed, it clears the screen in grunt shell. Okay. Then quit command we saw. If I write quit here, okay, then I am back to my bash shell. Okay. Let's see now if I just use pig like this. Read the screen again now. Okay. So now it says trying execution type local, trying execution type mapreduce, picked mapreduce as the execution type. So if you don't mention any arguments, then by default the execution type is the MapReduce type. That means now you are ready to work with the files in your distributed file system. Okay, let's try another mode here. Not here. Let me press Control D here, and let's try this Tez mode now. Let's see whether it works. See the screen again. Now I'm running it in Tez mode. Okay, so you see when you run it, it first, see the preference. It first tries local, then MapReduce, then Tez underscore local, then Tez. And finally, since you've mentioned Tez as the execution mode, it picks up Tez as the execution type. Okay, let's see with the Tez local also now, if it works. So now the same sequence, local first, MapReduce then, and then it tries Tez local. Since you mentioned Tez local, so it picks Tez local as the execution type. All right. So this is how you work with the various modes in your grunt shell, the various modes in which the grunt shell can be started. All right. Then we learned about the MapReduce word count problem. Now note this thing if you need to run it on your cluster. You need to note it because you will forget it otherwise. Okay. You see, by default, this word count problem comes packed with your Hadoop application. Okay. So it is in a certain jar file. First of all, let me ask you all, what is a jar file? You are using tar, you'll be using jar. Can anyone tell me what is a jar file? All of you are studying Java. You must have, your teacher must have told you something about the jar files. Or you've done Java in your summer training also, I've heard. So what is a jar file? I'm waiting for your answers. Please raise your hands to answer. None of you can answer what is a jar file? You see, jar file is when you want to deploy your application. See, your application, once you create a project in Java, there would be a large number of programs. Okay, there is one starting program usually which is like, name is the index file is there. So when you need to all make it as an archive, combine it together so that it can be deployed, it can be sent as a packed application, then you go in with the jar, this thing. So that is the Java archive. Jar is the Java archive. Okay, so there are jar files which are already there, which contains a lot of applications which you can try in MapReduce. Okay, so for that, let's go to first our this bash shell, then go to your installation folder. Okay, below that there is a share folder. Below that again there is a Hadoop folder. Below that there is a MapReduce folder. So can you see I am in user local Hadoop share Hadoop MapReduce. If I list the files here, you will see a lot of jar files. Okay, so I think all of you can see this file. I am going to highlight it. Hadoop MapReduce examples 3.2.1.jar. Can you see? Okay. So if I just say do like this, jar, need to work with this. Let's see why it is not picking up the name by itself. So let's see this, whether it runs. I just need to work with this. Just give me a second. I'm facing some problem with this. Just give me a second. I need to work it out. I would just like to, just see this command. Okay, I'm not working with this command, so just give me a second. So we'll write here Hadoop jar, Hadoop mapreduce, yeah, like this. Okay, so I'm going to pick up an application from this jar file with the name as word count. Okay, word count. Then I'll specify and the file from which, which needs to be in, from which the words needs to be counted. So I have put up a file here. Oh, I need to, okay, I need to go back, I think. Let's let's mention the entire path absolutely. Hadoop jar slash user slash local slash Hadoop. This is the inbuilt word count file, so it would help us in watching the word count outputs. In the mapreduce, below that we have Hadoop hyphen mapreduce hyphen examples. Then we have word count. Then we have Shakespeare. Yeah, this is my input file. This file is already there in my local file system, shakespeare.txt. You can download it from net, or I can send it to you so that you can also see. And then you must specify an output, folder where you need to store. So I'll say store it in a folder result. So see what I've done. I'm using this jar file which contains different classes. Okay, there are many classes. There is one class word count which would help you to count the number of words. So after word count you must specify the file, your, and then your target directory. Okay, so let's see if it launches some mapreduce code for you. No, it is, there's some problem, not running. Let's have one more try. Let's see the help again. Our file, you need to look for these. We are going all right. Okay, okay. I'm sorry. For this we need to mention HDFS path. उसके बिना नहीं चलेगा ये, ठीक है? So let's give this an HDFS and see in our, whether we have this Shakespeare file in our cluster or not. Let's look for our Shakespeare file here. Yeah, it's there in the root. Okay, so now let's hope that it works, and we'll create a folder result. Let's run it now. If it doesn't run, then we'll shift. Yeah, it is running now. So you see, you can see how many map records are there. Kindly have a look. It's a huge file. So there are 1,24,505 maps. Okay, map output records are there. All the details are here. The combined results are there. The reduced records are there, and you can see what it has done. It has counted all the words. So if you refresh this, there would be a result folder here now. You can see the result folder here. Okay, so you'll learn that in Pig, while you are taking an output, it's usually in a folder in which there are two files. One is a success file and minimum one file which is a part R file. So this is a reducer file. If your job includes only mapping, your task is finished in map itself, then it would be a part hyphen M file. Okay, so you'll see these files a lot. So let me just click on it. You can see its size is about 0.7 GB. So only one block. Okay, Oh, sorry, 0.7 MB, I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's see what's there in the file. Let's save this file and let's open it, right? Let's open this file. So you can see it has counted each word and how many times it occurs in this file, Shakespeare.txt. Okay, it's counted everything in the file. So every word has been counted, okay? So let's go back here. You can view this file from here also with your Hadoop fs-cat. Then you can specify the path here. This will display the file. This is the output of a file. The end of the file, you see, all it is listed. You can see that the word youthful occurs 29 times. The word youth occurs 15 times. Okay. So if there, you see, if there is a youth dot, it will pick up space as the default delimiter. Okay. So that is how it checks it, right? So we can have another a simple one here. Let's pick up another file here. Instead of this, let's see if we have a checksum file here. And once a directory has been created, an output directory, it cannot be repeated. Okay, so let's take another one. If the checksum file is there, it will read it and it will analyze it. So checksum file is not there. So this is how you can do it. Okay, so let's go back to pig now. Remember this, I'll send this file to you also if you want to check the word count, because the default program in MapReduce is very, very difficult. You know, it's in Java and it's very lengthy program. It uses a large number of, Java classes, but in pig, we'll just write it in 5 lines. So let's see the pig command. You see, if I need to display the cat, use the cat command, start it with sh in grunt shell. So let's see this. This is the same, program, the word count program in pig. Okay. So I'm going to run it with a few variations. Okay. So you need to note down the things now. I'll quit from here. If I need to run a pig code, okay, I can run it from here also by mentioning some parameters here. Okay. So let's go here. A clear and execute will come automatically with this. Let me just shift to, this slide. So important one now, that if you need to run your pig code, you can do it in the grunt shell. You can do it in your bash shell using the pig-e command, or you can use it, you can run it using pig-f command also. Okay, I'll begin with pig-e command. Okay, and I'll write a code. I'll begin from scratch with you. Now you start noting down the things. Okay, we are in terminal, we are in bash shell. Let me first create a file for analysis. Okay, I'm going to create a file. I can use gedit or I can use cat also. Say I can create a file z1.txt. I'm going to create this file. Something is troubling this here. Are you all able to hear my voice and see the screen? Give me a raised hand. All right, I'm having some problems here. Yeah, fine now. Let's see whether this gedit is working. Yeah. So I'm going to make a file here. Kindly note how I'm going to make this file. I'm writing 101, then a tab, then a name. 102, then a tab, then a name. 103, I'll just take these 3 records, okay? So let's say I'm taking 3 students with their roll numbers and names, and I'm separating this information using tabs. Remember, a tab, okay? So I'm saving this and I am storing this. Then I can display this file for you. Can you see the 3 records? Let's suppose we are going to analyze this file using pig, okay? Just a small example to begin how we can do it, okay? So this file is there, z1.txt, right? To start analyzing the file, the first operator that you require is the load operator, okay? Is the load operator. So let's go with the load operator. Say, let's go to pig-x local. थोड़ा सा confusing रहेगा, you need to arrange things accordingly, but by the end of today's lecture you will understand the 3 basic pig operators, that is load, store and dump. But you need to write a lot on your copies, please. Don't rely on the video itself, even if I put it on my YouTube channel, okay? So first operator is the load operator, okay? See how we write it. First I'm writing it. This is a part of the load command, okay? And every command in the grunt shell must be terminated with a semicolon. Certain commands are written without semicolon also. I'll tell you whenever they come. So this is a basic load statement. So it has 2 sides. On the left side is the relation in which you're going to load this file. And on the right side is the name of the file. You're not mentioning anything about the file, that what type of file you're going to analyze, whether it is a tab separated file, whether it is a space separated file, whether it is a comma separated file. So if you don't mention anything, it will pick it up as a tab separated file. And remember Z1 also we have made it as a tab separated file. So I'll load it. It won't give you any message, right? It doesn't give you any message. Some own configuration message, don't worry too much about them. Okay. Then to see now this file z1.txt has been loaded into the relation A. Remember, A is the relation name. Okay. To see its contents on screen, to see what is there in the relation, like you used to work with the select command, select star from M. That was how the things were loaded on the screen. The output came. कि emp relation की जो output थी वो आप screen पे display करते थे. Here in pig you use the dump for that. Dump, then the relation name. And this dump command does not require a semicolon. You may put if you wish, it does not require a semicolon. So I'm dumping it. You'll see the output of your file that you just stored. Can you see? The output is in the shape of a tuple. So it says that the file has 3 tuples, 101, Ajay, 102, Sanjay, 103, Deepak. This is a basic load command. Then I told you that if you want to see the schema of this relation, you should use describe. Okay. So let me use describe. See the auto completion feature of pig. I've written DESC and then I have press tab. So it says there are 2 commands which begin with DESC. So if I write a R and press tab, it will automatically complete it. Okay, so I'm saying describe A. And see, the describe command also does not require a semicolon. And it says schema for A is unknown. Okay, right? Schema for A is unknown. Why? Because you didn't mention anything about the file z1.txt, what it contains, what are the field names, what are the data types. So we won't be able to work with it. Let me add something more to the file. Please keep on noting this if you really want to do analytics on your own. That's my request to you, right? So I'm going to analyze this file. If I need to run the gedit command here in grunt shell, I must begin it with sh. Okay, I'm going to edit this file. After a tab, I am going to put certain more things so that I can, tell you whether you can go without schema or not. So I've added this, I'll save this, I'll close this. So if I just list the file now, you can see the updated file. Okay, so now I'm assuming roll number, name and marks. Okay, let me again load it. one word of caution for you. If you do it like this, that's fine. If you do it like this, it will give you an error. There must be a space between equal to and load. Okay, I'm going to run it. Okay, it usually gives an error here. So let's try it. It's working right now, but use this style. I would request you. Use this style. A is equal to load this, right? And a semicolon. I've loaded the file. Okay. Let me dump it for you. Dump means display the output on the screen. And you know, once you do it in your own cluster, you can see here what it is doing. Okay. What all the things it is doing in this. The mappers and the reducers, everything, because your pig Latin script is converted into a series of mapreduce jobs. Okay. Now, again, if I use describe, it will say that the schema is unknown. Let's say I want to find, not now you don't, write anything as such, because these operators will discuss in later classes. But just for an example, let's see if I want to see the student with the marks greater than 85. I want to list the students whose marks are greater than 85. So for that, what I can do is I can use a filter A by $0 greater than 85. Let's see. Okay. Now see what it has done. There was no schema with pig. Okay. You gave an expression $0 greater than 85. Okay. So what is $0? $0 is the first field. So आप चेक कर रहे हो कि जो रोल नंबर जिसका 85 से ज्यादा है, so it is, read the line, it is implicitly casting it to int. You didn't specify any data type, but with your expression it will cast it to int. Okay, so our example was this, to list all the students with marks greater than 85. So marks field is $2. If you don't give names to your fields, then the first field of information is represented as $0, the second field as $1, and so on. So now, right now, I am doing something known as select star from A where marks greater than 85, something like this. Okay, so filter A, filter is the condition. Okay, filter A by $2 greater than 85. Okay, so let's dump B and see. By the way, what output should be there if it is correct for this filter condition? Can you tell me? Can you raise your hands and give me an indication what output I'll get from this? None of you can tell me? If you use this filter command here, like rest of you are there, only one person, two persons. That's a very simple question. Yes, Mani, go ahead.
Sir, it would be third record tuple 90 with 90 marks.
With 90 marks. Okay, let's see, Mani, stay with me, okay?
Okay.
Let's see whether it gives a third tuple. See, it has given, and just see the speed with which it has given. Even if there are 20,000 records, it will give you answer in seconds. That is the idea behind using these commands. So it is given 103, Deepak, 90. But you see, we didn't specify any data type. We didn't say that marks was int or float or Deepak is string. So it is doing this thing on its own intelligence. That is the good thing about pig. If you don't mention a schema, even then it works. All right. Is it clear, Mani?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So now let's extend the load command. Let's give it a schema now. Okay. Note this thing. So in this load also contains for you to specify what function you would be using. So if you are using pig, so the function name would be pig storage. If you are going to access some other system like Hive is there, or HBase is there, or JSON loader is there, many functions are there. So since we are concentrating on pig, so our default function, even if we mention it or if we don't mention it, is pig storage. Pig storage, P capital, S capital. And it contains one argument which tells you what type of storage is there in the file. So you're telling that the file is tab separated, \T. You can have a comma here also. Okay, you can have a space here also. For our file, we do it as \T. Okay, and then the keyword as, in which you specify the schema. Schema would mean that here you give the names of the fields and their data types. Okay, I'll first give the names. Okay, note it carefully. This is your complete load statement now. Load file name should be in single quotes, and the absolute or relative path should be there. Right now, which path we are using? z1.txt. It is the relative path. That means wherever we are, there is a file z1.txt. And where we are in the local file system, we are in /home/hduser. We know that. Okay. So we can write the full explicit path here also. Instead of this, you can also write, this is the absolute path for the file z1.txt. Okay. Then you are mentioning it's a tab separated file. And then you are mentioning that the three fields in this must be named. The first one as role, second as name, the third as marks. Okay. So this is loaded now. Let's now see the schema for this. Can you see now something that we discussed sometime before? Can you see the schema? First, the relation name is there, and then the description is there. Role, you just give the names, role, name, and marks. You didn't mention any data type. So I told you default data type is byte array. Can you see the default data type byte array? Okay. Then let's now again display this. So dump A would give us the output. Let's not this thing. Let's go with another command. Don't look too much into it. We need to discuss it in our next lecture. For each A, generate. I'm writing something like this. Can someone of you tell me what I'm trying to do? This is your projection. For each is for projection. Okay. So from your relation A, you're going to generate the first two columns, $0 and $1. Okay. So it would display what? 101 Ajay, like this. Okay. It won't display the marks now, right? So this is done. You now do dump B. Okay. Noted, I suppose. Dump B, if you do, you will see only the first two columns, 101 comma Ajay, 102 comma Sanjay, 103 comma Deepak. If I do like this, instead of this, if I write role, okay, even then it will work. Even then it will give you the same output. That means, important thing, that even if you have given a schema, the $0, $1, $2 are still active. You may use them also if you are comfortable with them. You can use the names of the fields if you have given them, or you can use $0 for the first field, $1 for the second field, and so on. Okay. And if I write it in combination, will it work? Can somebody answer? Will this work? Yes or no? Like we can use this in combination. A quick hand raise by you would help. Whether this will work or not, yes or no ही बोलना है. Okay, Mridul, go ahead. Mridul, you can answer.
Yes, sir.
Will it work?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it will work. Fine. So we can work in combination also, no problems. This is the output that you've got for this command. $0, it picks up the first field, and then you're giving the names of the fields. That's fine. Both way it is good. Okay. Let's now change the file. Okay. Note this thing carefully now. These are the basics. After that, a lot of relations would be there. Then once these basics are clear, how to run this, I'll run this in multiple ways for you to understand the load command. Okay. I'm going to modify this file now. Look carefully. Now giving a space instead of tab. Okay. Remember, I'm giving a space instead of tab. And I'm saving it. Show you the output now for this. You can see the space, they are separated by spaces now. Note carefully what is going to happen. I'm going to reduce it like this. I'm just going to write z1.txt. That's it. I'm again going to load this file with the basic command. No using no as, right? It has loaded. What would be the output now? Simple answer. I think everybody should be able to give this answer. Let's see it. आप देख लो आपने जो सोचा वही output आ रही है. Okay. Same output. So now you would say, what is the difference between whether it's a tab, whether it's a space, whether it's a comma? Tell me that with this load, this output has come and your file is space separated. Okay. But this load, I've told you by default loads the file in tab separated. Okay. So where would it make a difference? Can somebody tell me? Where would it make a difference? Okay, I'll elaborate my question with this example. Note this thing very carefully. This distinction must be clear about the type of the file. Okay. Let me use this for each a generate. Let's go with a simple one first, the complex one later. I'm going to generate $2. So I'm trying to print what? 70, 85, 90. 3 rows, but only the third column. Okay. मैं dump कर रहा हूँ, but before I do that, can somebody tell me what would be the output? Can somebody, discuss what would be the output here? That's important, you see, to understand this. Come on, answer fast. Take a chance. इसमें क्या है? Same people. I want someone new. Only 3: Mani, Ritika, Mridul. ठीक है. Let's ask Ritika now.
So there will be, I think there will be no third column.
There would be no third column. Okay, let's ask Mani.
Sir, third column would be printed display.
Okay, anyone else who wants to share something about this? कर लो इसमें क्या है? Output तो आई जानी है. Give your answer. Try your answer. Anyone else who wants to share? There's so many students. Mridul, you can answer. You raise your hand.
I printed the third column.
Print the third column. Okay. Narinder Pal, you can also answer. Narinder Pal? Yes.
Yes, sir.
What is the answer for this?
Sir, it will print the third column.
It will maybe. Okay. Let's see now. All of you see. It has printed nothing. So right, Ritika's answer is correct. It has printed nothing. Okay. Another chance for all of you. Now I'm trying to print the first column, right? The roll number column. Another, I want another input from some of you. Rohit Kumar Singh, you can give us an answer. Yes, Rohit, are you there? Okay, Khushpreet, you can give us an answer. Okay, they are not with us, I suppose. Nikhil, you can give us an answer. Nikhil is not there with us. Yes, Shaurya, go ahead.
Sir, it will print the first line roll numbers.
Oh, it will print the roll numbers. Okay. Then what is the difference, Shaurya, between this file and the file that there is no difference if it prints the first line, first roll number.
Didn't get your question.
Will it? You're trying to print the first column, है ना? Only first
Yes,
column.
sir.
Print
Yes, sir.
101, 102, 103.
Yes, sir.
Sure, stay with me, okay? And just look
Okay.
at this output. Look at this output now. Surprised?
Yes, sir. तीनों print हुए, तीनों columns sir.
No, Shaurya, come with an answer why this is so. You should be able to get this. Remember, we have specified space as the delimiter. हम जो चाहते हैं कि हमारा delimiter space है. But what is the load statement looking for? It is looking for a tab. ठीक है? Have we given a tab in our record? 101 Ajay 70? No.
No, sir.
So वो tab की wait कर रहा है. जब तक tab नहीं आएगा, it won't consider it at the next field. So
Okay, sir.
according to him, 101 Ajay 70 is one field
File.
only. There are
One
fields.
field.
Got it now?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा बताओ इसको कैसे, how to handle it then? You
Sir,
can, yes, go ahead. You can raise your hands if anyone wants to answer. Shaurya, you can continue.
so 101. If it is looking for the tab, we have just to get the edit and make a tab in the file.
No, we won't do that. The file is like this. यही फाइल आई है. ठीक है, मृदुल से पूछ लेते हैं. थैंक यू शौर्य. मृदुल,
यस सर.
क्या करें?
सर लोड करनी पड़ेगी दोबारा फाइल
लोड
विद स्पेस.
हाँ, यस, लोड करनी पड़ेगी with space as the function, right? So
Yes,
what
sir.
we need to do is we need to do this. बताया था अभी थोड़ी देर पहले. ये स्पेस दे दी मैंने यहाँ पर. Now we are telling load this file and this, the delimiter is the space. Okay, all of you look again. Now we'll run all those queries again. This was the first one, right? Now it will pick it up. If I dump this, now it will give you the marks. Good enough? And if I do this, now it will give the roll number. Now it is picking it up on the basis of space. Is it clear to all of you? If yes, you can raise your hands, please. Yeah, this should be very clear to you. Otherwise, it would be a problem, okay? All right, lower your hands, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now you see most of the data sets of files that we are analyzing in actual, they are comma separated values. So let me edit my file according to that. Okay, important now. Let me go with the comma, this thing. Instead of spaces, I'm going with commas. जितने भी data sets आप देखोगे, you will get them as comma separated values. If you remember in Python also we did it. The CSV module, we used to go with the comma separated values. Now I'm separating them with commas. Okay, I'll list them for you. बस इसी एग्जांपल से सारी चीजें आगे 3-4 चीजें आज जो पढ़नी है सारी इसी से पढ़ लेंगे. Okay, so what change now we need to make here? We need to put a comma here. So we are now suggesting, let's write it completely, the schema also, and schema with data types also. Let's finish that. Okay, so role as int, comma, name as, just see how we write it, name as char array, and then marks as, say, maybe double, or float also can be done. So this is, the file has been loaded. It's a comma separated values file now. Okay, so if I do the analysis here, the basic ones, if I generate $0, it will generate it. So let me generate $0 with this, and let me dump it. It will display the roll number. Working with commas, $1, the names, $2, the marks. See the marks now. See, you see the output. You said float, so it is now 70.0, 85.0, 90.0, like that it is. Okay. So have you understood the load function, all of you? It's there in front of you. I'll show it to you in. The load is in front of you. Kindly have a good look at it. Whatever we have discussed now, it should be clear. How the syntax is written, how it is used. If there is no schema, then what happens? $1, $2, etc. Okay. This is the load operator, very important one. This will start your analysis. You need to load the file first. So you must understand what it means. It's very important. Okay. And remember, right now we are working with the local file system. Okay. That's why there is no, because if it is your HDFS, then you must give a path here, proper path. If you just write z1.txt here, and suppose we are using in HDFS mode, then where this file z1.txt would be located, it would be located in our user HD user folder. Okay, I won't go into HDFS mode today. Today we need to see a lot of commands, basic commands. So we have seen two basic operators, the load operator for loading files and the dump operator for dumping files on the screen, displaying files on the screen. Okay, let's now go back to our grunt shell. Let's go back to grunt shell, sorry, to our bash shell. Let me, this file was, the name of this file is z1.txt. Let me create another file. Note it carefully, please, all of you. I'm going to create another file, say 5csc2. Let me make this file, okay? .pig. I'm going to make a script file now, okay? We understood that the pig Latin scripts can be executed like this, like this. So I'm going to make a script file. So what is a script file? In which you write a series of commands, and when you execute that file, all those commands written in the file are executed one by one, okay? So have a good look at it, all of you, please, okay? 5csc2.pig. I'm going to create this file. We are back in bash, right? Yeah. So I'll write here a is equal to the same that we wrote there, load z1.txt using, कहीं गलती हो जाए तो मेरे को हैंड रेस करके बता देना. Pig storage, using pig storage, now it is in commas, right? Comma as. Shaurya, you want to say something? Your hand is raised. Yes, go ahead, Shaurya. As. Shaurya, you need to ask something. Char array, comma, marks, float. I think it's all is good. And then semicolon. Money is also raising. Yes, Money, go ahead. Money, you want to ask something?
यस सर. सर टैग जो नेम दिया है फाइल का, वहाँ पे कोमा लगा हुआ है.
ओके,
तो वो टैग.
ठीक है. थैंक यू वेरी मच. ठीक है, और ये आई हैव सेपरेटेड विद द सेमीकोलन एंड देन सिंपली dump a. Only this thing we do. Just two commands in my script file. The name of the file is 5csc2.pig. Okay, clear, right? So let's save it. Let's close it. So I'll run a few commands for you. Note them. Pig -e. So if you need to run your pig Latin script while you are in your bash shell, you can use it either -e or -f option. So pig -e, okay, and then I can write यहाँ shortcut में लिख दूँ so that we don't waste too much time. z1.txt, that's it, semicolon, dump a, this. So if there are a few commands, if you want to execute them, then -e would mean that after -e you would give the commands in double quotes separated by semicolons. Since dump does not require a semicolon, so I have not put it. Okay, so what will happen with this? It will execute this. Okay, let's see whether it executes it or not. If it does not execute, so what you're telling it, that execute these two pig commands. You're not in grunt shell, but even then with -e you can do it. But whether it's there, yes or no, let's see. And look for the error also if there is some. You must give me an answer for this, right? I'm running it. Let's see what it replies. So जब भी ऐसे आते हैं ना org.apache.pig.backend, that means some error. Now look at your screens carefully. Tell me what went wrong. If you tell me, I will understand that you have understood whatever we have learned about pig today. This is the command which I run. The command is also in front of you. Okay, Ritika wants to tell me something. Yes, Ritika, go ahead.
So the pig is trying to access the file from the HDFS cluster,
Yes.
and the file is not there.
And
It is
why
in local file system.
file is in local file system? So
Yes.
what we should do to rectify this?
We can give the file scheme
Hmm,
or absolute path.
no, उससे भी नहीं चलेगा रितिका. ध्यान से देखो. I want some other answer also. Ritika, your first answer is correct that it is trying to look. The answer is here. It is trying to read the file from the cluster. Okay.
Yes.
There is no such file there. अगर z1.txt cluster में होती तो run हो जाती, but it's not there. So what is the problem in this command?
We can give the file scheme file.
No. Okay. Anyone else? अगर आप आंसर करोगे तो it would be good. मैं बताऊंगा तो आप कहोगे हमें मालूम था, हमने पढ़ा आज ये. Look at the command. You are, अगर हम ऊपर जाएं और थोड़ा देखो, यहाँ से उसने शुरू किया. It tried local, tried mapreduce, it picked mapreduce. आपने कहीं बोला था mapreduce शुरू करना है? Yes, बोला था आपने. You didn't give anything after this pig. You didn't mention local or mapreduce, right? So it is going to mapreduce. लेकिन आपको local में चलाना है, right? So what you need to do here? You just need to make it like this. That was the error, Ritika. Kindly note. You must specify. आपको यहाँ specify करना पड़ेगा. If you just write pig hyphen e, it will start the the HDFS mode. Now you are saying start pig in local mode and execute these commands. Okay, now it will give you the output. I think all of you have understood this thing. Now it will give us the output as we desire. The same output that we saw. Yeah, got it. So this we have done at the bash shell prompt. I think it's clear to all of you. Today we'll go just with the local mode. Okay. If it is clear to all of you, kindly raise your hands, please. If it is clear that yeah, it's important that you understand all these commands. You should be able to run your pig from anywhere you are. Now look for the pig hyphen f command. Okay, thank you. You can, yeah. Thank you very much. So let's go with pig hyphen x local. Now see, if you have commands like this, there are only two commands which we need to run. So we have written it in double quotes. If there are multiple commands, 5, 6, 7 commands, then the reading won't be good. So we should use a script file for such things. If you have a large number of commands, it is preferable to use the script file. So how to use the script file? We have made one script file. Remember, our script file is this. Can you see? We just made it. Where it has gone? ये तो बनाई थी हमने. Okay, it is 5csc2.pig. Sorry. Yeah. So can you see this 5csc2.pig file contains both the commands that we want to run. So pass this file. Okay. How? Pig hyphen x local hyphen f 5csc.pig. Now I'm saying run pig in local mode and execute this script file. So when I execute this script file, whatever commands are written in it are executed. It will give you the same output now. If you have not made any mistakes, it will give you the same output. Fine, understood the script file. See one more thing now. We use this command. Let's omit this hyphen f. I've omitted the hyphen f. I've simply written pig hyphen x local and then I've supplied the script file. So let's see if it gives the same answer. So you can omit hyphen f also, even then the script file is executed. Okay. One question based on this, I have taken the script file as 5csc2.pig. Is it mandatory for me to take .pig as the extension for my script files? Kindly give an answer, please. Is it mandatory for me to pick up .pig as the extension for my script files? Yes or no? Raise your hands to answer, please. Either all of you are not listening or you don't want to participate. Okay. Ajay Sharma again. Yes, Shaurya, go ahead. Shaurya, go ahead.
Sir, yes, we have to mention the pig because we have to access from the pig files.
You say that the script files, no, not this pig. ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, ये तो लिखना ही पड़ता है. ये जो
Yes,
file है जिसका
extensions are, yes, it must be required.
आपके अकॉर्डिंग होनी चाहिए. Okay, let's
Yes,
ask
sir.
Mani. Shaurya, stay with me. Yes, Mani. Mani, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yes, sir. The pig extension must be required here.
Okay, both of you are with me. So I want to rename this file. इसका नाम change कर देते हैं. We make it 5CSE2. Rename में help कीजिए Mani.
सर क्या करना? रीनेम?
हाँ, इस फाइल को रीनेम करना है. 5CSE2.pig से इसका नाम 5CSE2 रखना है. Shaurya, can you tell me how to do it? Shaurya or Mani?
The pig x local.
No. How to rename this file? इस फाइल का नाम change करना है. 5CSE2.pig.
सर
Mani?
Gedit.
No. नाम change करना है, content नहीं.
सर रीनेम नाम क्या एक कमांड होगी?
What do you mean? I think होगी.
सर मैं I forgot. क्या नहीं चाहिए?
How you can forget it? ये लो, मैंने 1 मिनट में कर दिया. मेरे को कौन सा याद रहता है? ये लो. Move command use करो. Move command is used to move files, is used to rename files. Move
Okay, sir.
old file name space new file name. ठीक है, अब लिस्ट करके देखो 5CSE2 पर बन गया फाइल का नाम. अब आपका जो क्वेश्चन है कि उसके बिना चलता है कि नहीं, वो देख लेते हैं. ये ठीक है, चला रहा हूँ 5CSE2 बिना .pig के. Shaurya and Mani, both of you see, it will run. It will give you the same results. So script files can have any extension or can have no extension at all, but it is a good practice to give the .pig extension so that we understand that it's a pig script file. Is it clear?
Okay, sir. Yes.
Got
Yes,
it?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay, let's now go back to our grunt shell. ठीक है, क्या लिखे यहाँ? pig-x local. Let's write this. Grunt में आ गए. The same thing can be done using the same, why if you need to execute your this thing, then there is a execute command. Execute and then your script file name. वो क्या था? 5CSE2. See, we are in grunt shell now. If you want to execute a script file in grunt shell, use the execute command, exec. That is where we stopped here in this thing. Like in the slides we were here. If you see this slide in front of you, the execute command, just see the syntax. There are 2 optional parameters with the name as -param underscore file. And then you must give the script file. Okay, I'm trying to run it first with simply exec and then pig script. Okay, so exec and my script file is 5CSE2. It will run the script file, the same output would be there. Noted? The same can be done with run. The run would give the same output. Okay, so you would ask, what is the difference? Okay, the difference is that run command, whatever commands it runs from the script files, it makes them a part of the history. It stays in the memory. And execute commands, when you execute them, they are not a part of the history. Have you understood this? Let's see this with an example. वापस आ गए इधर, ठीक है, और फिर से पिग शुरू कर दें. ध्यान देना जो बोल रहा हूं मैं. I'm going to illustrate the differentiation between run and execute. ठीक है, अभी हिस्ट्री देखें. हिस्ट्री में कुछ दिखता है हमें? अभी there is nothing because we have just entered the grunt shell. There is nothing in history. Okay, मैं एक कमांड लिख रहा हूँ sh. Kindly note the differentiation. ls. ये क्या करेगा? It would list the files from your bash shell. See, आगे list. ठीक है, उसके बाद लिख देता हूँ SH cat 5CSE2 ना 5CSE2 या इसने लिस्ट कर दिया. If I write history now, how many commands it should show? Raise your hands please. If I write history now, what would be the history, you know? Will it display both these commands that I've used both these commands? Okay, Shaurya wants to answer. Yes, Shaurya, go ahead.
यस सर, क्योंकि अभी हम ग्रेजुएशन में एंटर हुए हैं, हमारे दोनों कमांड यही अभी हुए हैं.
देखें.
देख
Let's see.
हिस्ट्री
Stay with me, okay? कुछ नहीं आया.
इसमें ऐसे
ठीक है? Stay with me, no problem. So remember, Shaurya and the rest of you, that the commands which which begin with SH or with FS, वो grunt shell के commands नहीं है. SH वाला कमांड bash shell का है, FS वाला कमांड HDFS का है, वो हिस्ट्री में लिस्ट नहीं होते हैं. ठीक है, फाइन.
ओके सर.
एक इसका grunt shell का कमांड लिखते हैं, वैसे ही लिख देता हूँ फास्ट ट्रैक. D is equal to load z1.txt, है ना? ये कमांड होता था ना, ये
है सर.
ये हमने अभी किया था, है ना? अब हिस्ट्री करें तो हिस्ट्री में आ गया. ठीक है, जो ग्रंट शेल के कमांड्स हैं वो हिस्ट्री में आ जाते हैं. वन नंबर भी आ गया. अगर वन नंबर नहीं देखना तो हिस्ट्री -n कर दो. ठीक है, लाइन नंबर नहीं देखना तो. गॉट इट Shaurya?
यस सर.
नाउ स्टे विद मी Shaurya. यहाँ से वापस आ जाते हैं. ठीक है, आप सब भी मेरे साथ रहिए, इंटरेस्टिंग काम कर रहे हैं. फिर से शुरू कर देते हैं लोकल बोर्ड में, फ्रेश एकदम. अभी हिस्ट्री में कुछ नहीं है, राइट? देयर इज नथिंग इन हिस्ट्री, यू कैन सी देयर इज नथिंग. नाउ ऑल ऑफ यू सी, आई एम गोइंग टू एक्जीक्यूट माय फाइल. एक्जीक्यूट कमांड क्या करता है? You give some parameters and you give the script file. Parameters in next class. If I run this, it will run. This file contains two commands. Shaurya. One is, दिखा रहे हैं आपको?
हाँ जी सर.
ये देखते हैं shgedit 5CSE2. ये फाइल के अंदर दो कमांड्स हैं, लिखे हुए हैं ना, a is equal to load and dump. ठीक है, ओके.
यस सर.
तो मैं अगर इस फाइल को मैं रन करता हूँ विद, आ जाओ, ये इससे रन करता हूँ, तो इस फाइल के अंदर दो कमांड्स हैं, दोनों कमांड हिस्ट्री में आने चाहिए. ठीक है, लेकिन
नहीं सर, नहीं आएंगे.
हाँ, एक्जीक्यूट से हिस्ट्री में नहीं आता.
नहीं आता.
चलेगा, हाँ ये चलेगा, लेकिन इट वोंट कम इन द हिस्ट्री.
हिस्ट्री में नहीं आएगा.
ये हिस्ट्री में नहीं आएगा. चलो, ये तो समझ में आ गया. अब रन करते हैं. ठीक है, ये रन कर दिया. सेम रन से हिस्ट्री में आते हैं. अगर मैं हिस्ट्री लिखूं Shaurya, कितने कमांड्स आएंगे?
सर 3.
तीसरा कौन सा है
सर? एक हमारा सर फाइल एक
कौन सा?
हिस्ट्री और फाइल.
नहीं, हिस्ट्री
और बाकी सर दो जो हमारे कमांड अंदर हम लिखे फाइल की.
ओनली वन विल कम, द लोड कमांड. ठीक है, द डंप कमांड आल्सो डज नॉट कम इनटू योर कमांड. नहीं आता. ठीक है, नोट द आउटपुट. I think I've made the distinction clear. Thank you, Shaurya.
Yes.
Okay, so now you understand that run and execute both are there to execute the script files. Run commands, they stay in history. उसका फायदा क्या होता है कि अगर आपको दोबारा यहाँ हिस्ट्री से उनको पिक करना है, ओके, सो आप अप एरो की दबाओ तो वो कमांड फिर से आ जाते हैं. ठीक है, ओके, you get the commands back. All right. So that is the idea behind run and execute commands. The parameters we'll discuss in the next class. Let's now go back to our presentation. अभी कुछ एक दो चीजें और रहती हैं इसमें, because basic things you must understand. Only then you would be comfortable. Okay, let's now go to our, एक मैंने word count भी बनाया हुआ है, उसको भी देख लें जरा. Let's see the word count program. It is shell cat word count. This is my word count program. Okay, तो फाइल्स देखें कौन सी पिक कर सकते हैं. होम में जाते हैं, देखें होम में कौन सी फाइल्स हैं. एक फाइल कोई ले आते हैं होम में, है ना. जस्ट अ सेकेंड ना, I'll copy this checksum file, bring it to home. You remember this checksum file? Let me open it for you. दिख रहा है आपको? HDFS blocks are stored in files, है ना. We will count that in this file which word occurs how many times. It would be fun, है ना. वैसे आपको प्रोग्राम लिखने को बोले जावा में, सी प्लस प्लस में, आप लिख के ट्राई करो और बनाओ, ठीक है, बट सी दैट योर वर्ड काउंट प्रोग्राम हाउ इट डज इट, ओके। सो इसके लिए क्या करें, हम इसको पहले तो क्लियर कर देते हैं और फिर इसको रन करते हैं यहाँ से exec वर्ड काउंट, लेकिन हमने उसमें तो चेंज नहीं किया, राइट। सो ch, look carefully now what I'm going to do, gedit word count, right। सो इसमें यहाँ पर अभी मैंने पैरामीटर्स डाल के रखे हुए हैं, वो हटा देता हूँ मैं। लोकल फाइल सिस्टम में हूँ, डिफॉल्ट पाथ में, सो checksum लिख देता हूँ यहाँ। सो आई लोड द checksum फाइल, ओके। सो इट विल काउंट द नंबर ऑफ वर्ड्स फ्रॉम द checksum फाइल। सो लेट्स नाउ रन इट, exec word count, okay। So you see another important thing has come up. See now, let me just open up the file again, then we'll discuss this error। मैंने जब यहाँ पर ये फाइल लोड की है checksum, तो मैंने इसको बोला है कि result2 नाम की डायरेक्टरी में इसको स्टोर करना है, ठीक है, result2 नाम की डायरेक्टरी में। अगर इस नाम की डायरेक्टरी ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्ट करती है, okay, let's look for this directory in our local file system, shls-1। Can you see res2 is already there? Can you see it here? So अगर आपने डायरेक्टरी स्पेसिफाई की है टू स्टोर योर रिजल्ट्स और वो डायरेक्टरी एग्जिस्ट करती है, तो ये आपका कमांड एरर दे देगा। तो इसको यहाँ से रिमूव करने में हेल्प करो, res2 को रिमूव करना है, रेज योर हैंड्स, हेल्प मी टू रिमूव res2 फ्रॉम माय लोकल फाइल सिस्टम। यस, नो वन, पिछले कमांड सारे भूल गए, लाइनेक्स और hdfs, व्हाट इज द फन इन लर्निंग पिग अगर पिछला भूल जाना है तो। Yes, go ahead, please answer how to remove this directory res2। Nobody is willing to answer. That's not good. Okay. The directory is not empty, so rmdir won't work. Okay. rm-r res2. That's it. See, if you need to remove a directory, the command would be rmdir. Okay. But you know that this res2 is not empty. There must be something under it. So go with rm space -r and the name of the directory. The directory and anything below it is, the tree is totally removed. So now if you execute, now your word count will work. Okay. So it has successfully stored 165 records in this directory res2. Okay, it has read 12 records. There were 12 lines in your files. Okay, all right. So if I want to see the contents of res2 directory, I told you what it would be, shell ls res2. It will have two files, as we discussed in the earlier part of today's lecture. It will have two files, one a success file and one a part file. Can you see part-r-5 and a success file? Okay, if you want to list, you want to actually see the words, you can display it, shell cat. You see all the hdfs and the local file system commands are coming handy now while you are in pig Latin. So just give the path res2 slash part-50 should display. No such file. Okay, you need to mention the explicit path. I missed something. Sorry. Part-r-. See, it has counted the words. See now. You see, the comes 16 times, and comes 6 times, r comes 3 times. See, just see the strength of this program. Okay, so this is your word count program. All right, and I think you can do the same from your from this point also. Can somebody tell me what to write here, please? Raise your hands. I want to run the same program, word count script file, from my bash shell. So I should write this pig-x local and then the name of the word count program. Will give an error, you know, because res2 is already created. Okay, you can read the error here. You can read the error. Okay, this is a failed for res2. So maybe I can change the directory to res3. Okay, I'll change the directory. आउटपुट डायरेक्टरी res3 कर देता हूँ. ठीक है, इसको कैसे बनाना है आपको अगले लेक्चर में समझ में आ जाएगा. डोंट बॉदर टू मच अबाउट इट. इसको रन कर दो. नाउ इट विल क्रिएट अ डायरेक्टरी res3. ठीक है, अब res3 को यहाँ से भी ढूंढ सकते हैं, जरूरी नहीं कि आपको हमेशा वहीं कमांड प्रॉम्प्ट पे करना है. ये res3 डायरेक्टरी बन गई है, इसको खोलो. इसके अंदर एक सक्सेस फाइल है, एक पार्ट फाइल है. पार्ट फाइल खोल लो, इट विल टेल यू ऑल द वर्ड्स. ठीक है, गुड इनफ. So if you understood, most of the things that we have discussed today, as usual, you can raise your hands if you have understood really, But one thing is there for sure. Raise your hand so that I can understand that you have understood today's content. You need to work a lot with these commands to practice them initially only. After that, when we discuss all the operators for different tasks, I can assure you that there won't be any problem. They would come smoothly to you. Just the initial part, how to run the script, how to make the script files, and how to run the different modes of the pig. Today we have discussed the local mode, but when we do our case studies, we will have big files, big data sets. We'll be working with our distributed file system only. Okay, so let's see if there is any poll in store for us. देखना पड़ेगा, आप लोगों की एक poll और होगा शायद. ठीक है, the poll is coming to you. It's there in front of you. Kindly attempt the poll now. Limited time, easy question. The question is easy, The poll is there in front of you. 10 seconds now. And the question is very easy. We have just used it. 5 seconds. The last 5 seconds for all of you. After that, I'll end the poll. Yeah, I'm going to end the poll now. I'm going to share the results with you. 44 people have answered correctly, 92%. The pig storage is a default function in the load statement in pig. Okay, that's good. So now for your questions, either you ask or I'll ask. I'm giving you time to ask your questions because that is very important. Yes, Mani, go ahead. Ask your question, please. Mani, unmute yourself if there is a question. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, how we can use that pig storage function as we used it to mention the space or tab?
Yeah. How we use it? Okay. Have a look. Have a look on the screen, Mani. Stay with me, right?
Okay.
I'm loading pig in the local mode to work with the local file system. Once pig is loaded, right?
Yes, sir.
Then a relation name, then load, then Z1. This is the file which you need to analyze. Okay, is in your local file system. Then the keyword using, and then you use this pig storage function. So you can specify here that your data set or your file is a comma separated values file. Okay, and then if you wish to give a schema, you can give a schema. You can give a schema without data types also. In that case, the default data type would be, please answer, Mani, what would be the default data type? I've not mentioned any
default,
data.
sir, byte array.
Byte array, fine. Okay, so I've loaded it like this. It is loaded, right? So
Yes.
if I now describe it, if I describe the schema, okay, you will see that byte array is the default this thing. And your file, it is assuming your file to be comma separated values. Now that file, comma separated values, is the most common format for your data sets on the internet. 90% or more of the data sets are comma separated values. So you should be very clear, since your comma separated values is not a default pig storage function, mention this using pig storage. Otherwise your data would not be analyzed properly. Okay, and now we can dump this on screen. Okay, and we'll get the desired output. These are the MapReduce jobs are going on. Even if there are thousands of records, Mani, this will give the results under 1 minute. Even if there are millions of records, in 1 minute, it will give you the desired output. All
Okay,
right.
sir.
Yes. Any other question, Mani?
Sir, just we use this pig function, pig story function for mentioning this comma space.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
If
okay,
if we don't mention it, we can go like this also. This is the basic load statement. If you go like this,
yes,
this
sir.
means now it is assuming that your file z1.txt is a tab separated file. Is a tab
Okay,
separated file, right?
okay, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
if it is a comma separated and it is picking it up as a tab separated file, then it won't do the analytics. It won't be able to distinguish between columns, and whatever analysis you do would be incorrect. So be very careful. Write your load statement properly, giving the schema, the storage function properly, and giving the schema properly and the data types also, so that there are no miscalculations in your analysis. Is that all right,
Okay.
Mani?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Waiting for more questions from your side, please. Go ahead, all of you. Okay. Let me pick up Mridul. Yes, Mridul. Mridul, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mridul. Can you please tell me what is the importance of pig-f?
Sir,
When do we use pig-f, Mridul?
sir, when we are a Hadoop file system, distributed file system.
Okay. And what is the importance? Like, why do we use it?
So if we run the command from the distributed file system, run the pick command from the distributed file system, then we apply F.
Okay. Ritika, can you unmute yourself? Mridul, your answer is not correct. Stay with me.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Ritika. Pig-f, can you explain?
The pig hyphen f is used to run the commands from the local file system or either the HDFS file system to
Okay.
run the pig commands.
To run the pig commands. How?
By giving the files ahead.
By giving a script file. That is
Script
the
file, yes.
most common way of analyzing your data, that you write all your analytics command in a script file. Okay. And then
Yes, sir.
you pass that file with the pig-f argument, so that the commands can be executed all together, right? One after the other. You don't need to mention the commands time and again. Just write all your commands for analysis in a script file, and using the pig-f option, you mention the script file there, and all the commands written in that file would be executed there.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. All right. All right. Thank you. Now let's ask. One person is not responded. Yes, Narinder Pal, are you there? Narinder Pal, kindly unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Previously, you didn't respond.
Sir, I
Your mic.
did.
I wasn't able to hear you. Okay. Narinder, just tell us about the MapReduce phases that we have learned today. How many phases are there in a MapReduce job?
Sir, there are three phases in MapReduce:
Okay, go ahead. Name them.
map, shuffle, and reduce.
All right. And what did you learn about the default MapReduce application, the Hello World of MapReduce? What is that program?
Hello, sorry, sir. समझ नहीं आया क्या बोला आपने?
What is the default program, which is also known as the Hello World of MapReduce?
Sir, word count.
Yeah, word count. And do you find it very
Yes,
interesting
yes.
and very important? We just in seconds we counted words from a file. So where do you think it would help us in actual? The word count, we are just simulating it, how it counts
Yes,
words
sir.
from a file. What is its actual use case? Rest of you can raise your hands if you can answer this question. Where can we use this word count application in actual, in the real world scenario? Narinder? Yeah, think it over. Anyone else? You can raise your hands, please. You see, usually this word
Sir,
count. Yeah, go ahead.
we can use it to process large number of files.
That's one thing. But what to look for in the files? Give me some practical example. Okay, Parth wants to answer. Parth Vishish, right? Go ahead, Parth. Parth, unmute yourself.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So we can put the input of a survey if we have conducted a large scale survey and we have to look for common keywords. So
Oh,
we can
great,
just
great answer, Parth. That's a perfect answer. Very good. So
yes,
when we are looking for keywords, for example, let's take the example of an insurance company. Okay, they get thousands of emails, millions of emails from their consumers. So if they like company would be interested in looking for the word refund, that how many times from the millions of emails, how many of them they contain refund. From that they can have a financial scenario of their company, that how much they are liable to pay. So that is one very good answer, Parth. That's a
thank
perfect
you.
answer. How did you come out with this answer?
So I was watching a documentary on big data a few weeks back. So usme tha ye.
All right, that's a perfect answer. Very good. Narendra, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, both of you. Now, can we have some more questions? So, a reminder for you to work with Pig, we will be working with hundreds of operators, which would give you a real strength in analyzing your data sets. But you must be very, proficient in their use. You can Google occasionally, but like most of the commands should come automatically to you, naturally to you. For that you need a lot of practice. All of you have already installed the requisite softwares. You've installed Hadoop, you've installed Pig also. Now work with these commands. And this lecture, this is being recorded. It will be up on my channel by maybe by 3 p.m. So you can refer to it also. Okay. And kindly, while we are using an open source software like Ubuntu, Hadoop, there would be problems in that, as you've already felt that thing. So we must look for solutions. We must go to forums. Okay. Quora is there, Stack Overflow, so many are there. Most of you are already using it. I know it. Okay. Discuss over those forums, discuss among yourselves. You can always put your queries back to me, and I'm going to respond to them as usual in 2 to 3 hours, probably with a solution. And if not a solution, an exact solution, because sometimes we won't find exact solutions for open source software. There are so many bugs in them. Okay. Then we must look for some approach which we can, by which we can reduce those errors. Some warnings, some problems are already always there in our code. So we must minimize them. That is my suggestion to all of you. So I think I'll end this class here now. Okay. And kindly watch the videos that I've already uploaded. This is the 7th lecture today. The previous 6 are there also on my channel. Plus other videos are also there, the lab videos, the installation videos. Kindly have a good look at them, and they would help you in your analysis. So I'm going to close this class now, and as usual in the end, I'm giving you an opportunity to say bye. I'm muting you all. So it's a bye from my side. We'll meet next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.